CHAMPS is presented by Lawrence Technological University. Possible is everything. Stryker, discover your strengths and follow your passion with us. Fanuc America, the leading supplier of robotics, CNCs, and factory automation. State Champs, also working in partnership with the Indiana High School Athletic Association. Hello, Indiana, and let me be the first to say it has been an outstanding start to State Champs in the Hoosier State. Welcome to the final State Champs episode of 2018. Some would say the best episode because, after all, it's our Football State Championship edition. We're presented by Lawrence Technological University. I'm Lauren Plant.
And I'm Kiara Hay. We do not want to give you an impression that we're going anywhere. State Champs will be back in early January with all the basketball, wrestling, gymnastics, and swimming coverage you can handle. 21 shows to be exact to close out the 2018-2019 school year.
That's right, we're in it for the long haul. And for the football teams that made it all the way to Lucas Oil Stadium, it's been a long, tough road, but they made it. Before we get to all the action from every single football state championship game, earlier in the week, coaches gathered at Lucas Oil to reflect on their season thus far and about the opportunity to compete for a championship. State Champs was there.
Well, I think we came into the year with a great deal of expectations. We had quite a few seniors who were starters over the last 2 years on a team that went to the state finals 2 years ago, went to semi-state last year. And that can be tough. Those expectations can be very difficult.
People ask me what goals do we have in the season. I don't have any goals. My goals are to win the next game. And if we do that, all those goals that people talk about are going to take care of themselves. And we can look back on this, when it's all said and done, we can look back and be pretty proud of what we put out there.
Social media has kind of changed the game because, that's the outside noise. It's not so much people talking to them, it's the social media that creates the outside noise. And that's a good thing. But having kids mature enough to be able to compartmentalize and handle that, we're really fortunate between Lindauer and Combs. I think they kind of lead the team in that category. They've had a lot of attention for 4 years, and they've developed the ability to be able to take it as it is, and I think that's rubbed off on a lot of kids.
We're excited to be back, obviously. I'm excited for the kids, the program, the community, everyone that's involved in this. Being part of a state championship, this is the third one we've been in now in my 6 years, and it's just such a special week to be a part of, to get involved in everything the Colts do for this, high school football across the state of Indiana, the Colts do for this weekend, being downtown at Lucas Oil. So many of these kids that play in this game were little guys that were little Colts fans coming to games and painting their faces, 10 years ago. So to get a chance to come downtown and play in Lucas Oil and compete for a state championship is something that we're extremely proud of.
These kids are getting life lessons daily through these activities, and they're learning about adversity and diversity and how to handle all these things that come up in life and not getting what you want, how to handle an injury, how to handle a setback, how to handle success, lack of success, how to be a starter, how to be a backup. All these things, how to get promoted or demoted and handle that. Most people don't handle those things well in life. Our kids, get an opportunity, a free opportunity at this. And so I think they get it. That's why athletes do so well in the business world. They get a head start on a competition. They're tough. They're mentally tough. They understand teamwork and being on time and giving credit to where credit's due and not, if you do something wrong, you got to own it and maybe even get yelled at for it and then go play the next play.
What makes this group very unique, very special, we have 22 seniors, and those 22 seniors have just been tremendous leaders. I've said all along, having a new coach come in your senior year sometimes is not easy. And for them to welcome me into their family, bring me in, buy into what I'm selling, so to speak, has just made this very, very special.
Well, I just feel so good for these kids, for our fans, for our community. It's been a long time coming. We've had a lot of great football players and a lot of great coaches here at Decatur Central. To finally get it done with this group of kids just feels amazing. I graduated in '97, played for Coach Gillen, who's a Hall of Fame coach himself. A lot of players that have come through have been good enough to do this, and for whatever reason we weren't able to get over the hump and get a regional championship. So to get it this year just feels great for the community. From our superintendent, Dr. Brasecki, who played at IU, as a kicker. He's come out to our practices and coached our kickers up, on Thursdays with Paul Tutsi. But just so much support from the top down, from this community, from our school board. They value athletics, and they know what athletics can do for a person in life, and our kids need that to be successful, and they really value that. So couldn't be more proud of a group of kids first and foremost, and then our community.
We begin with the Class 4A championship game. Fort Wayne Bishop Dwenger playing in its 11th state title match and their second in 4 seasons, winning one back in 2015. Only one loss on the year to 6A Fort Wayne Schneider. Saints looking to hoist the trophy, but the Bears of Evansville Central standing in their way. EC making their first appearance in a football state title game, also looking for their first state championship in any sport. We jumped to the 4th quarter. We had a scoreless game, 1 second left on the clock. Evansville Central lining up for the field goal and the win, blocked by TJ Tippmann. Saints defense forced this game to overtime. Both teams missed their first opportunity to score via a field goal, but this time, John Degenhart splits the uprights from 21 yards out, EC up 3-zip. But Dwenger would respond on their possession. Michael Garrett from 23 yards out, nailing it right down the middle, ties the game up at 3-all. Saints got the rock down to the 1-yard line. The senior Tippmann finding the end zone, bulldozing his way in from 1 yard out, 10-3 ball game. EC not going to give up just yet. Senior QB Brennan Harper dropping back. He'll find fellow senior Malcolm DePriest wide open in the back of the end zone. Tie game after the 3rd overtime. Evansville Central with the first possession in the 4th OT. Harper will sling it to the middle, picked off by the senior Charlie Howe. Now all Dwenger needs is a field goal for the W. Of course, points at a premium, and the player of the game is running on Octane 93. Tippmann bounces it outside, reaches for the pylon, touchdown, championship. No state title game had ever gone beyond 2 overtimes. This took 4. Fort Wayne Bishop Dwenger, your 2018 Class 4A state champions, beating Evansville Central 16-10. 5th state title in school history.
Just get there. That's all I can think about is get there. My brothers earned it. They deserved it. I owed it to them. And they blocked for me the whole game, and that's what happened. Everyone did their jobs, and I got the lucky one to be at the end. That's all I could ever ask for. I've worked for it since I was in 3rd grade playing PAL football. I've earned it. All my brothers have earned it. It's the best feeling ever.
You can't put into words. You really can't. You know, it's give honor to God. Thanksgiving to our seniors, our captains. I mean, I look up in the stands, we got tremendous support. They believed in us all season. Trust, unity, and toughness. And that's what that was. That was trust, that was unity, and that was toughness for a senior captain to take it in from 8 yards out and finish in the corner. He couldn't even breathe when I got to him. So I'm the one humbled to be part of this. I'm thankful to them for taking me on the journey.
Hope you're enjoying the show thus far. Lots more football finals highlights coming up. But first, we take a look inside Lawrence Technological University. One of the greatest college experiences you could ever have may not be on your campus at all. You can see the world and learn at the same time. LTU offers a wide variety of opportunities for students interested in studying abroad for a full semester, or even if you're looking to participate in other international experiences that range from 1 week or an entire summer. LTU really has it all.
Students get to see the world. They get to explore different cultures. Employers like to see these types of things on resumes. They like to see that people have different experiences, and international experiences definitely help out a lot in the global economy.
Going overseas is a great way to develop as a leader with a global view. If you're interested in studying abroad and want to learn more about joining this program, check out ltu.edu now.
I'm Kevin Trozinski here at Lucas Oil Stadium, and we are just getting started here on State Champs. Coming up after the break, we have the Class 2A and 3A State Championship game. And we have this week's Recruit Report with Ellen True. Don't go anywhere. State Champs will be right back.
Want to know what I like best about playing basketball for my high school? I like it because it's a place where my friends get to see me play. I like it because I'm playing for someone besides myself. I'm playing for everybody in my school and every person in my community.
Indiana high school sports. They're more than just a game.
Come and see me play.
You're watching the State Championship of State Champs!
Next up to 3A. West Lafayette in the state championship game for the 5th time in school history as they gun for its 3rd state title. The last was in 2009. As they took on the defending state champions, Evansville Memorial. The Tigers coming in on a 22-game winning streak, including 11 straight in tournament play. And the fans were treated to a good one inside Lucas Oil Stadium because a lot of points will be scored in this one. Just 90 seconds into the contest, Kyle Adams would connect with Spencer Blankman, and the junior brushes off a tackle and takes it 81 yards to the house. The Red Devils jump out to a 7-0 lead. Then just over a minute later, Adams would get it out to Kyle Hazel in stride, and he goes down the sideline for the 92-yard touchdown. After the opening quarter of play, the Red Devils led 14-12. Evansville Memorial, looking to go 15-0 for the first time in school history, would respond in the second quarter. It's the senior Michael Lindauer on the QB keeper up the middle for the 19-yard touchdown. The Tigers now trailing 21-19. Evansville would strike again with under 5 minutes to go in the half. Lindauer finding time and gets it to Branson Combs for the 40-yard touchdown reception. Going into halftime, Evansville Memorial was up 26-21. West Lafayette responds with 2 scores to start the second half. Check out these stats on Adams. 466 yards passing and 4 touchdowns, including this one right here with the bomb to Harrison Truitt. And he goes in for the 88-yard touchdown. Red Devils up 41-32 heading into the fourth with under a minute to go. West Lafayette driving for the game-winning score, and it would be Sage Hood just crossing the plane for the 3-yard touchdown. Evansville had one last chance to win, but West Lafayette would hang on to win in a shootout, 47-42, the final. It's the first state title for the Red Devils since 2009.
Yes, that's exactly what we imagined. That was our goal, and we've got kids that go after it and get their goals, and I would never doubt our guys, and that's what they wanted, and they've worked their tail off for the entire year to do it. So here we are. I'll say in this game, Kyle Adams, our quarterback, early in the first quarter, he got a shoulder, and it was hurting. We tried to hide it the best we could. We had to... He deserves that. We had to mess around with some things and get him in some comforting spots, but he took a big hit in his shoulder. He's going to be hurting for a long time. Well, I may be the head coach of this team, but our staff, our team, everybody works together, and I'm just the guy that does these interviews, but it goes way beyond me. Our strength and training coach, all our assistant coaches, our community, our administration. Also thank the Colts for what they've done. I mean, this is an incredible tournament. To end in this venue is outstanding.
First off, I got to thank my parents, my little brother Corey, number 17, and all my family and friends out here supporting me, my teammates. All started back last summer working hard, and they're my brothers day one throughout. Over time, I just got more and more comfortable. Our O-line did a great job protecting me throughout the entire game, and our receivers went downfield and they just made plays for us. It's unbelievable, and going in at half, we talked as a team, we talked as an offense, we talked as a defense, and we said, we're not offense, defense, special teams. We're West Lafayette. We came together, and I think that helped us a ton in the second half.
Class 2A state championship. The Western Boone Stars without a state title since 1988, but also without a loss on the season under head coach Justin Pelly. Eastbrook Panthers having something to say. Runners-up in the 2016 contest, the Panthers would look for a second chance. The crowd going wild at Lucas Oil, it was game time. Dylan Bragg under center for Eastbrook, the fake, and the junior would catch the defense on their heels. Eastbrook heads up 7-0. Stars bouncing back, Spencer Wright with some touch, Logan Benson there for the snag and 6. Western Boone Eastbrook tied at 7. And where would we see this? From the quarterback Dylan Bragg, biting hard for the Panthers. Eastbrook heads up 14-7. In the second, the Stars would come out to shine. Right up to Benson, A 55-yard pitch and catch for the senior, his second of the game. Weibo up 17-14. They would attack it again. Stars with the ball. Let's watch the trilogy. Right with the zip to Benson, and he would do the rest. Stars shining up 10, 24-14 in the third. The Panthers not faltering. Down at the 4. Dylan Bragg with the give to his own number. He would find pay dirt. Eastbrook down 24-20. Elliott Young with another big boot from 26 this time. And the freshman perfect on the night, 27-20 Weibo. Stars looking at lights out for the Panthers. Right across the stretch to Benson for the closeout. Benson goes big on the night, 152 yards and 4 scores to victory. Western Boone defeats Eastbrook 34-20, capturing a 2A state championship.
Weibo community's waited 30 years to get down here, so we got them back, and our kids finished the job. Can't say enough about them. You look at the sideline right now, it's unbelievable. You know, that's what it means right there. That's what they do. It's a football community. You know, they support us when we're down, when we're up, doesn't matter. It's a great place to be. Selfless. We moved a lot of guys around. It's easy to talk about being selfless. A lot of people talk about it. I'm not sure how many people really do it. Human nature wants you to do more. Our kids really took a step back. They did their job, and that's what we asked them to do. Several guys moved around positions, and that's what allowed us to be here today and to win.
This is Alan True from 24/7 Sports with this week's State Champs Recruit Report. I know we talk about Indianapolis Ben Davis offensive tackle DeJuan Jones every single week here, it seems like, but he's one of the big noisemakers in the state of Indiana. He recently added another major offer when the Michigan Wolverines offered him a scholarship. He visited Ann Arbor, and his recruitment will now get very interesting as the Wolverines throw their name into the hat. They already have one Ben Davis alum on their roster in running back Chris Evans. Mishawaka Penn running back Ryan Whiteman took an official visit to Saginaw Valley State over the weekend. Whiteman had an outstanding career. The 5'10", 203-pound running back had over 2,000 all-purpose yards and is drawing interest from other GLIAC schools as well as some FCS programs in addition to Saginaw Valley. Staying at Mishawaka Penn, his teammate Jared Riffle, a senior defensive lineman that goes 6 foot, 220 pounds, was offered by Taylor University. That is his first scholarship offer of the process. He was a big contributor to his team's defensive success the last 2 seasons. Look for him to continue getting more interest from schools. For this week's State Champs Recruit Report, I'm Alan True.
State Champs covers high school sports all school year long, and if you are a sales professional looking for a career with a good base salary, a great commission structure, and benefits, we want you on the State Champs Indiana team. We connect great companies with the wonderful communities all over the Hoosier State. Simply go to our contact page at statechampsnetwork.com and let us know you're ready to get in the game. State Champs will be right back.
I don't think of this as a high school weight room. It's more like a high school classroom. I'm learning how to manage my time here. I'm learning that it's important to have goals and that it takes persistence and commitment to reach them. And I'm learning that the best way to lead is by example.
Indiana High School Sports. They're more than just a game.
Come and see me play.
You're watching highlights from Lucas Oil. Go Panthers!
We now go to the 1A state championship. The Pioneer Panthers looking to repeat as the Class A state champs in its 3rd consecutive title game appearance as they were playing North Vermilion. 13-1 on the year, they were playing in its 2nd state championship game in the last 5 seasons. And the Panthers would get on the board just 3 minutes into the contest. Di Llewellyn goes all the way around, scores on the 9-yard touchdown. They convert the 2 and led 8-0. More from the Pioneer offense with 2 minutes to go in the opening quarter. Senior quarterback Jack Kaiser takes the snap. He brushes off a couple early tackles and then goes down the sideline, and he is in for the 81-yard touchdown. After the first, the Panthers led by 16. And the Pioneers would keep the pedal to the metal in the first half. It's the senior Danny Gregorich getting the handoff, and he scores from 3 yards out. Going into halftime, the Panthers had a 32-0 lead. It was more of the same in the second half. Kaiser using his arm, getting it to Ezra Llewellyn for the 15-yard touchdown. Panthers cruising up 40. And then it would be Kaiser once again using his legs. Here's his third rushing score on the day from 40 yards out. He finished with 235 yards rushing on only 16 carries. It was going the Panthers' way in this one. Kaiser going to the air. His pass is almost picked off, but it goes into the hands of teammate Dustin Sparks for the 21-yard touchdown. As Pioneer goes on to shut out North Vermilion 60-0, the final. It's the Panthers' second straight Class A Football State Championship.
Just after last year, they know what it takes to get back to this point, and they could have relaxed all season, they could have relaxed all off season, but they didn't. They wanted this feeling again. They didn't want the feeling after the 2016 season, and just watching these guys work throughout the off season, throughout the season is just something special that hopefully these players never forget and us coaches will never forget. Seniors get a lot of credit. Obviously Jack, obviously Danny, and as of late, you had sophomores Mason Schnurple and Tyler Gallmer. Played big minutes offensively and defensively. And, if you look out on the field, we play a lot of underclassmen. And so if these guys have that same work ethic, we always tell them, do not take this 3-year run for granted. And it does take hard work, and, hopefully we can find a way to get back down here. I heard the Warren Central coach say last night, they only get about 2 weeks off all year. We'll enjoy this, enjoy the holidays, and we'll come back in January coming from Christmas break, 4 days a week, and they're going to get up at 6:30 in the morning and they're going to work their butts off.
I'm just speechless, going back to back and getting revenge for your brother in 2014 and doing it for this community that came out and supported us tonight. It's an amazing feeling that I'll never forget. Coach Barry's done a great job of, making sure we're on time and working hard, and that's what you need in life going forward. And so, just everything from practice, film, weights to actual games is going to, help me be a better man. Just motivation really. From last year, we knew we wanted to get back here and go back to back. That's a statement for our program, and so just motivation, get better every single week, and I think we did that. Pioneer football. It's a tradition. It really is. It's a program that's built from hard work and tears and sweat and a lot of good memories. As a competitor, you always want to win, and to be your last high school game, to go out on top, it means you're a champion, and that's what all these seniors wanted, and we got it done today.
We hope you're ready for this one, the IHSAA Showdown in Class 5A. The Dragons of New Palestine against the Hawks of Decatur Central. New Pal last clinching the 4A title in 2014 under head coach Kyle Ralph, making their third appearance in 5 years. The Dragons have been working at it again, now back at Lucas Oil. The Hawks of Decatur Central flying past opponents this season, one being Columbus East in a close one in semi-states. But it was all business for the Hawks. Each side cheered on by the faithful, showing them team colors. This is what the finals is all about. New Pal would look to get us going in the first. Quarterback Zach Neely is going to get it fast on his feet and fast with the decision-making. In stride, finds the pylon. Dragons up 7 after 1. Dragons would look for another. Neely with a give to Charlie Spiegel with some power towards the paint. Rolls off the tackle. Dragons would blast for another score in the second, 14-zip. Let's take another look at it. Slow it down with the replay. Spiegel with the blast, rolls out of it. That would be 6. Hawks not throwing in any kind of a towel, only a football. In the second, under center, senior quarterback Parker Harrington, fighting for his Hawks, takes a look, finds junior Kenny Tracy to pay dirt. Extra point no good, 14-6. DC getting it done on offense, and the Hawks are going to let you know about it. The Dragons breathe in some fire. Still in the second, Zach Neely over downtown to senior Colby Jenkins. The senior would find stride. New Pal responds 21-6. And they wouldn't stop there. Dragons with the rock again. Why not put it in the hands of the man of the year? That man, Charlie Spiegel, not stopping at anything. The hammer to the nail. Dragons go up 28-6. Hawks making a late go at it in the fourth. Harrington in the air up to Tracy for a second touchdown of the game, but a bit too late for the Hawks this time. New Palestine gets the win over Decatur Central, 28-14. The Dragons cap off an undefeated season of work, achieving their goal and taking home the Class 5A state championship.
It feels incredible. We knew this would be a hard game, obviously. Playing a lot of guys both ways. They play a lot of guys both ways. We thought it might be a little bit of a battle of attrition, and it kind of ended up being that way. We unfortunately lost one of our team captains and our Mike linebacker there on the first play of the second half, which kind of hurt our defense. He made all of our checks, all of our calls and everything, and now we just won the mental attitude award, so how proud can you be of that kid? But I'm so excited for our kids and so proud of our kids. I told our guys in June there was something really special about this group, and it was their job to figure out what it was. And I think as we continue to push this summer and the early part of the season, they started to figure that out a little bit. And when you got a team that works this hard day in and day out, prepares so well like this team does day in and day out, they're committed to the process of getting better and not being satisfied. Some special things can happen. So, maybe to do it in the fashion we've done it, probably not. But I think I would have been disappointed if that team had not reached their potential and gotten us here.
I feel like I had a pretty good success. I mean, we won state, and that's the best defense I think I've went against this year. So I respect them, and that was a good game.
If you missed anything on today's show, State Champs will re-air several times throughout the week on Fox Sports Indiana and Fox Sports Midwest. You can also check everything we do on our website at statechampsnetwork.com, on our State Champs Indiana Facebook and Twitter page, and also our YouTube channel. The big dog is up next, Class 6A, Carmel versus Warren Central.
Since the dawn of man, storytelling has been the most effective and engaging means of communication. Whether gathered around the warm glow of a fireplace or the family television set, a compelling story has always moved people to action. At Yellow Flag Productions, the Emmy-winning storytellers behind our television programs are now helping clients create content that emphasizes their people and passions. Let us tell your story and share it with the world.
I'm Kevin Trozinski, and we have had a blast out here at Lucas Oil Stadium for the Indiana High School Football State Championships, and we have one game left. Class 6A, Carmel versus Warren Central. Carmel last won the title in 2016. Warren Central, currently ranked 9th in the country by USA Today. They last won the title 5 years ago. Here's Lauren Plant for this week's main event.
This one for all the marbles, the Class 6A State Championship. Both teams looking for their 9th football state title. Carmel making their record-tying 15th appearance in a state championship game. Hounds ranked 3rd in the state. But the state's top team, Warren Central, beat Carmel in Week 8 41-17. Will the Greyhounds exact revenge, or will the three-headed monster spoil the party? Warren Central beat Center Grove to reach Lucas Oil 27-20. Senior running back Ramir Elliott, 38 rushing touchdowns on the year. He'll tack onto that total, reaching the edge with that burst, reaching the end zone untouched. TD number 39 gives the Warriors a 6-0 lead. The highly touted recruit David Bell injured his ankle in last week's game, saw limited action this night, but no worries. Senior QB Jaden George connecting with his second favorite receiver over the top to senior Montrez Stanley. Warren Central up 13-zip. But the Hounds came barking back before the break. Junior running back Dylan Downing taking this one from the 31-yard line into the Central red zone, out of bounds at the 13. 3 plays later, pair of juniors hooking up. Quarterback Gabe Quigley has his eyes set on Aiden Ellison. A perfect pitch on a perfect route. Greyhounds cut the lead to 6. How about the defense? A slew of interceptions happened over the next couple of drives. Quigley throws into double coverage, picked off by junior Willie Eaton. Willie eating his Wheaties. Throwing this one low, but somehow senior Joey Schmidt will snag it. Carmel trying to snatch momentum before the break, but the Warriors weren't having it. Quigley, again, picked off, this time by junior Javion Stanberry. Looks to be a pick 6, but Christian Williams there before any more damage is done. Biggest play of the game came right here. Jaden George, quick dump to Elliott. Ramir will turn on the Jets. Down the sideline, reservations for 6, please. Warren Central now up 20-7. The Southern Illinois commit Elliott had himself a day at Lucas Oil, notching his 40th rushing TD on the year, 164 yards on the night. Warren Central defeats Carmel for the Class 6A state title, 27-7 the final. And check this out, the Warriors become the first team to go undefeated in basketball and football in the same calendar year. Warren Central on top of the mountain in so many ways.
They're unfoldable, they really are. It's a model we have, a mantra we have in our school, and you just can't break them. They're just tough to steal. You know, I've learned a lot from them, which is really cool as an adult learning from, young men, and it's refreshing. We got great coaches and great people in place, and when you have great kids like we do that go from sport to sport to sport, and we share them all, and we push them to the next coach, because it takes a village to raise a kid, and I can't do it alone, and no one can. That's why we have 25 coaches on staff. That's why we have all these sports. We offer all these opportunities in our schools in America that are wonderful, and we're just part of that cog, and so it's nice to see these kids just transfer it from one place to the next, and I'm just a fan of them, really. It's just fun to watch. We had a good shot. We were close last year. We had a lot of those key pieces back, so we know what we have, and we've been here before, and we know we had a shot with the kids we had because of who they are, not so much the talent level.
We went into the game, just trying to pound the rock just to end the game early. We know how good Carmel is, and we know how good we are, so we just went out and executed. I couldn't do it without my O-line and the outside guys blocking for me. I feel great. All the summer workouts, hard work, it just finally plays off, and it feels great. As you see, like Coach West said, our O-lines, they're not the biggest, but they're the hardest workers in the state, I guarantee you that. And it just shows you by my rushing yards and my records and all that, and I couldn't do it without those guys. And I'm just so thankful for them. And we got the state championship.
Great, as leader on defense, the senior, I couldn't ask for nothing better. Perfect season. We grinded hard the whole game, got the dub. We just had to go back to the fundamentals, the stuff we learned, stick to our training every day, and we just did what we do.
Welcome to our State Champs recap for the State Champs Sports Network, the 2018 IHSAA Football State Championships held at Lucas Oil Stadium. My name is Greg Rakestraw from the ISC Sports Network, and this handsome fellow to my right is Keith Myers from Indiana SRN. We were in attendance for all 6 IHSAA State Championship games, and several different ways to kind of attack this. Let's get right to it. To me, Keith, the game of the weekend was the 3A state championship game. West Lafayette outlasting Evansville Memorial 47-42.
It comes down to the last possession. Evansville Memorial had an opportunity to win the game. It goes incomplete, but I tell you what, West Lafayette is huge, and they are going to be dangerous to play again next year.
George Karloftis, of course, heading to Purdue University. Defensive end Tavion Woodard's going to play at Ball State. Offensively, Sage Hood ended up as the all-time leading rusher at West Lafayette. Kyle Adams returns a season from now to be the senior quarterback at Westside. He set a record for most yards passing in a 3A state championship game. Michael Lindauer, fantastic. I know Memorial disappointed, but they made the state finals in back-to-back years. The champions in 2017. John Hurley's team had a fantastic season.
You go back to Kyle Adams, though. He threw 4 touchdown passes, over 400 yards. And he didn't break a sweat. He just did it routinely after routinely after routinely. That offensive line held and played a really good game.
He had touchdown passes of over 80 yards on 3 different occasions, including a new 3A record, 92 yards to Kyle Hazel as part of the offensive barrage that powered the Red Devils to their 3rd football state championship. Unfortunately, it was a heartbreaking weekend for the folks at Evansville. Evansville Central, a part of the first ever IHSAA Football State Championship game to go to overtime scoreless. It went scoreless to a second overtime. Eventually, Fort Wayne Bishop Dwenger outlast the Bears from Evansville Central 16-10 in a record-setting 4 overtimes.
And made a lot of people wait a long time for the 6A state championship. It was an unbelievable game, 4 overtimes. And talk about blocked field goals, talk about teams that just wanted the will to win and just came up short for Evansville Central.
So Fort Wayne Bishop Dwenger wins their 5th football state championship, their 2nd in the last 4 years. They will move up to Class 5A next year as a result of that contest. By the way, Memorial will move up to 4A after getting to the state championship game in back-to-back years. Speaking of 5A, that one played out as expected. New Pal over Decatur Central. And frankly, I think the the style or caliber of game is what we expected as well. The Decatur Central would keep it competitive, but that New Pal was clearly the dominant team. That was the case all year. Dragons won that one 28-14.
And we talked about New Pal. They are just 2-3 deep. They played very strong defense. They've been and broke a couple of times, but Decatur Central, what a great year they have had. And for them to build on this is going to be kind of remarkable.
I think what's going to be unique about that, though, is that New Pal and Decatur Central might end up in the same half of the bracket next year, because New Pal was sent to the northern half of the bracket. A lot of movement expected in 5A. Some teams going back to 4A, some teams going up to 6A. So there might not be a state championship rematch because they can meet in the sectional or in the regional round next year. And New Pal brings back 15 of 22 starters, namely Charlie Spiegel, who only had 70 touchdowns in his first year with New Pal, and sack artist Kyle King, who passed George Karloftis for the state lead in the 5A state championship game.
You know, you look at that junior class that New Pal has, you look at them, they should repeat. But boy, they have a tough way to go, because 5A is going to be really tough next year.
Undefeated state champions in the other three classes that we have yet to mention. Let's start big and work our way down. Warren Central, because of injuries, a lot of us thought that maybe Carmel had a better shot against them than they did back in the regular season when Warren Central won by 24 in Week 8. The Warren Central defense had something else to say about that. I thought it was their best performance of the season as they beat Carmel 27-7, ninth state title for the Warriors.
The key there was closing speed. Carmel wanted to go outside, and they just couldn't penetrate the defensive line. They played a very strong defensive game, only giving up 7 points in a championship game. That's pretty impressive.
And even with a David Bell at half speed, he and Ramir Elliott, not to mention Jaden George, and I talked about this on the 6A broadcast, that it's impossible to think that Jeff George's son at Warren Central would be overshadowed this year, but really he was. So much of the conversation was about Ramir Elliott and David Bell. I thought Jaden George was fantastic all year, and especially in the title game.
And he will make some noise in the next level. I think he's a very good quarterback, very poised. Reminds me of his dad a little bit. Looks at the whole entire field and can throw a rocket.
Let's congratulate Justin Pelly and the folks at Western Boone. They were on the table at 15-0. The first state championship in the tremendous history of the Pelly family. His dad got close many times at Speedway. Justin got the job done. Webo beating Eastbrook by a score of 34-20.
Justin Pelly is 52-19 in his sixth year. 19 losses in 6 years. I had 19 losses my first year I coached.
You know, Kyle Rouse says that's nice. Hey, listen, no offense to Justin. He's done a fantastic job at Webo, and that has been a program that's been good every year, and he has helped lead that group to a whole nother level. And we saved the best for last in terms of dominance, because one of the most dominant seasons of all time was just unfurled by Pioneer. They scored 60 points in the championship game. They allowed 39 points all season. 0 in the championship game as they beat North Vermilion 60-0, and Jack Kaiser caps off one of the best careers in Indiana high school football history.
I think Jack Kaiser is Mr. Football. I think he played very well in the championship game. He threw for 253 yards. He ran for a couple of touchdowns. He is Mr. Football in my mind.
He is not in my mind. That's no offense at Jack. I think the award's going to go to David Bell. But what was unique about this group is you had so many Mr. Football candidates that all made the state championship game. And I'll take them in order of class, if you will. David Bell, Romir Elliott, Michael Lindauer, George Karloftis, and Jack Kaiser. I think the way that things played out during the state championship weekend, it helps Jack's cause. But I also think it's hard for a kid from the 1A classification to be Mr. Football. Let's not get too caught up in the award. Jack's going to attend college at the University of Notre Dame. He's a guy that I think will play a couple of years down the road at Notre Dame, and maybe has a chance to play on Sundays a few years down the road as well. I think he is that good. And simply put, the last 2 years, I'm not sure there's ever been a team as dominant at their level as Pioneer has been the last 2 seasons.
And I agree with you completely. And the class that these kids have had on and off the field has done a great job. You know, over 41,000 people watch these state championship games. I thought all of the games were very good. I think the best game was the 4 overtime game. I love the longest game in the history of the Indiana High School Athletic Association.
As per usual, I disagree with you. Again, the game that I started with, I thought was the best game, the 3A contest. Over 80 offensive snaps for West Lafayette and Evans Evansville Memorial. It was certainly something that will never be forgotten. A fantastic weekend, a fantastic season. It is our honor to talk about it with you right here on the State Champs Sports Network.
What an amazing show. Congratulations to all of our brand new football state champions. You definitely earned it.
That's right. We're closing the 2018 chapter of State Champs, but we will be back January 13th to begin a whole new one, over 20 shows to close the 2018-2019 school year. However, follow us on social media. Bookmark the website statechampsnetwork.com, because we're going to give you a sneak preview of what's going to come by going out and shooting some selected games in December for highlights you can enjoy. Email us at our contact page on our website. Tell us which ones you'd like us to cover.
For Kevin Trzynski, Todd Young, and all of us on the State Champs Indiana team, we want to wish you and your family a happy holidays and a wonderful new year. We'll see you soon.
State Champs is presented by Lawrence Technological University. Possible is everything. Stryker, discover your strengths and follow your passion with us. Fanuc America, the leading supplier of robotics, CNCs, and factory automation. State Champs also working in partnership with the Indiana High School Athletic Association.